Good morning, Mizzou fans. Gabe DeArmond here, back with another week of PM in the AM, starting a day late due to some personal obligations, but we are here for Tuesday, August 12th. We'll be here every weekday with you guys throughout football season with just a little daily update on what's going on with the Tigers. And today we are talking offensive line. As reported by our Gerard Hamilton yesterday from Missouri football practice, and as Eli Drinkwitz promised on Saturday, some changes to the first team offensive line for Missouri. At practice, at least the portion that the media saw on Monday, left guard, preseason All-American left guard, by the way, Caden Green moving out to left tackle. Curtis Piegler taking his spot at left guard. Or at guard, and Dominic Jadis playing the other guard spot. So two positions are different than what they were a few days ago. Only one player is actually different. Couple things at play here. I think the number one important thing is Caden Green at left tackle. Look, this can work. He is an NFL prospect, has been highly touted since coming out of high school. Everybody loves Caden Green. Most people thought Caden Green was going to be a tackle coming into college. He has not been for his first 2 years. He has played left guard. Here is the concern with this. Offensive line coach Brandon Jones said back in the spring, look, we don't want to play roulette. We don't want to be moving Caden around. For the first 2 weeks of camp, Caden Green was at left guard. Plan A and B clearly did not involve doing this. Plan A and B was either Javen Richardson or Johnny Williams from the transfer from West Virginia. Obviously, Eli Drinkwitz and Brandon Jones didn't like what they saw out of those guys enough in the first 2 weeks of camp, and especially in Saturday's scrimmage. So that means what else do you do? Well, the third string left tackle was redshirt freshman Whit Hafer. Hard to see him being ready to play this year. So they moved Caden Green out to left tackle. That means you've got to replace Green at a guard spot. Tristan Wilson is the guy that we would expect to do that. Now, he was working at center. He's Missouri's backup center behind Connor Tollison. He was working at center in the drill that the media saw. So two things could be at play here. It's possible that Wilson is actually that left guard, but he's getting work at center with Connor Tollison, not necessarily 100% in camp, and they need to have him ready. And, hey, they feel like he's ready at guard, want to give him a little more work at center. That is a possibility. The other possibility is that Curtis Piegler is the starting guard, like he has beaten out Tristan Wilson. So here, this is a twofold concern on my part. Number one, look, and this is not exactly analogous to what happened with the Kansas City Chiefs last year, but it's the same move. You had no left tackle, so you took a guy who was really good at guard and played him at tackle. What it ended up doing was making one spot a little bit better and one spot a whole lot worse. So, again, not exactly analogous, because maybe Caden Green is way better than what they have at left tackle, and maybe Curtis Piegler or Tristan Wilson or whoever is close enough at guard that overall your five has gotten better. But there is a concern here that this overall five maybe isn't any better than the overall five that they just had, because, look, we haven't seen Green at left tackle. We haven't seen Piegler or Wilson play much guard, so we don't know what they're going to get. If those things look good, this is fine. And we might end up asking, why didn't they do this sooner? But again, my concern with it is this is like plan C. And maybe lower than that, but certainly no higher than plan C. It is hard to argue that 2 weeks into camp, switching things up at probably the most important position on the field, because it doesn't matter who the quarterback, running back, or receivers are if the offensive line doesn't work. So making offensive line switches midway through camp, 16 days before the season opener, it is concerning. That doesn't mean it won't work, but it is certainly concerning. Here's the other reason this is concerning to me. This tells me, looks like they've missed on Javen Richardson. Looks like they may have missed on Johnny Williams IV. Looks like they may have missed on Logan Riker. Maybe they missed on Jalen Early from Florida State. I mean, why is he not in the mix for any of these spots? You take a transfer with the 1 year left. You take that guy to play, not to be a backup and then not even be able to be a backup when you make moves. And then Logan Reichert, look, we haven't really heard his name all camp. So that's a lot of misses on the offensive line. So what happens if either this move doesn't work or if you sustain one injury? Then we're talking about complete chaos on the Missouri offensive line. Again, I do not want to tell you that you absolutely should panic this morning. We don't know that yet. Let's see how this all works. Maybe we get into the season and go, hey, that was great. Missouri played really well on the offensive line. But it gives me pause. There's reason to be worried about what's going on up front. And if they're not good enough up front, like we put the playoff talk and all that away. You know, it's not going to work if you don't have at least an above average offensive line, especially in this league. So we will see how it all goes. Again, I have to stress, I'm not burying anybody. I'm not saying you should panic, but this is at least something that you watch and say, not ideal. So let's see how it goes over the next couple of weeks. They'll be back at practice at 11 a.m. this morning. Gerard will be there. We'll see if things look exactly the same. Maybe some other guys are in there. You know, who knows? Could be a little bit of tinkering going on over the next 2 weeks. But appreciate you hanging out here. Like, comment, share, and subscribe tonight on the channel, 7 p.m. We're going to have a show. We are going to open up the voicemail line, speakpipe.com/powermizzou. Anytime today, just click that link, go leave us a voicemail, questions, comments, thoughts, whatever you want. Gerard and I will play all the voicemails on the show tonight. We'll answer what needs to be answered, react to what you guys want to talk about, all that. So again, speakpipe.com/powermizzou. Leave us a voicemail during the day. And of course, join us over at powermizzou.com. Still got the 50% off sale going on for your first year, $1 for your first month. Another little perk, once you're paying full price, you are eligible for a free Paramount Plus subscription. Paramount Plus just came to an agreement over the weekend or I guess it was actually yesterday on Monday, to be the exclusive carrier of UFC events for the next 7 years. I know that a lot of you are into that and like UFC, so certainly Paramount Plus could be a worthwhile addition. And again, once you are paying full price at 24/7, you can get that Paramount Plus account added for free with your membership. So do that. We'll see you at 7 o'clock tonight. Thanks for hanging out, guys.